Good morning, students. I hope all of you are well, safe and healthy, and I wish always good for you. So let's begin today's lesson. So in our last class we have completed the whole chapter 5, and we have completed all 6 lessons thoroughly. We read in great detail. So today what we are going to do, we are going to just quickly cover up the glossary of the chapter 5, Ancient Civilization Mesopotamia, and you will find this glossary on page 121. So quickly you open up, and I told you what was glossary. Glossary is about all the main subjects we are going to revise, which we have read throughout our chapter 5. So the main things, they always end up at the end of each lesson. So the first term or the topic or the subject we are going to revise is Mesopotamia. So you also memorize all these things, whatever left. Mesopotamia, I'm again going to read it to you, and you are going to memorize them later. So what we have read about Mesopotamia. What was Mesopotamia? An ancient region located between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers in modern Iraq and Syria, and it was the site of several early urban civilization. And I hope you have remembered that Mesopotamia was the first civilization in the world. Okay, next term we have is Fertile Crescent, and we have read this term many times in different lessons. And what is Fertile Crescent? It's a geographic region. It's a region that runs from the Mediterranean Sea. Here you see the Mediterranean Sea in the west to Tigris and Euphrates River in the east, ending at the Arabian Gulf. Okay, so it ends at the Arabian Gulf, and you will find the same map on your books on page 105, so you can have a clear view of the map. So its Fertile Crescent is a region that runs from the Mediterranean Sea in the west to Tigris and Euphrates rivers in the east, ending at the Arabian Gulf. Okay, next we are going to learn about a term or a name, Sumerian. Sumerian, what was Sumerian? A member of an ancient people that built the flourishing civilization of Sumer. So what was Sumerian? It was people or member of ancient civilization of Sumer, and we have read this term many times. Okay, and then we have learned about Ziggurat. What was Ziggurat? An ancient Mesopotamia pyramid-shaped tower with a square base rising in stories of ever decreasing size, with the terraces on each level and a temple at the very top. Again, an ancient Mesopotamia pyramid shaped tower with a square base rising in stories of ever decreasing size, with a terraces on each level, and a temple at a very top. Here I got a picture from Google. You can see we can have an idea about those ziggurat. Here you see the structure of the building. But what was, and the thing I told you about the ziggurat, they were like a temples, and they were the highest, like tallest buildings of the city, and they were these ziggurats. They served as a temple to worship the city's god, and this temple was always managed by a priest. Next we will revise the term cuneiform. So it's a writing that uses small wedge shaped characters. And what else we learned about the cuneiform? Cuneiform was it was a pictographic language, which means that picture represent the world. And it was also the first written language. Cuneiform was the first written language, and this language was developed by who? Remember, this first written language was developed by Sumerians. Okay, next is Hammurabi's code. Who was Hammurabi? Remember, Hammurabi was king of Amorite. Hammurabi was a king of Amorite, and he was let me see it again. It's Hammurabi. Yes, he was a king. He was one of the greatest king of Amorite, and Amorite was a tribal group from Syria. So what was his achievement? What he did, he the code of Hammurabi, like he introduced a code. Hammurabi, he introduced a code, a law, and that became very popular. That was, and it is also said that the code of Hammurabi is considered to be one of the first written set of laws. So you have to memorize that the first known code of law written down in the 18th century BC by Hammurabi, the king of Babylonia. So he was a king of Babylonia, and he belongs to a tribe that was from Syria, Amorite tribe, and he introduced the first written set of laws, and it became very, very popular. And there were some examples you will find on 112 page, like if a man broke another man, and one of the like I just revise you one law, that if a man broke another man's arm, his arm should be broken, and if a man poked out another man's eye, his eye should be poked out. So this was the laws he introduced right in the in early civilization. This type of laws he introduced. Then we have another term, AKKAD. Okay, so what was AKKAD? An ancient region situated in central northern Mesopotamia. It was most influential during the 3rd millennium BC. Okay, so AKKAD was basically, it was a city, and it was this city, let me see it in your book. So AKKAD was a city, and it located north of Sumeria, and Sumeria was also a name of a city. And this and who was the king of AKKAD? Remember, the king of AKKAD was Sargon, and he was a great king, Sargon. Okay, so and he ruled like just Sargon. He developed the first empire that was called Sargon's empire. So the AKKAD was the city located north of the Sumerian, and the king of the city was Sargon, and he developed the world's first empire, and that empire was called Sargon's empire. Okay, what you have to do, there are so many other like terms in glossary, so you have to read the glossary by yourself, and then few of them I revised with you, and the rest you will revise by yourself. So you will find it on page 121 and 122. So you read all the terms we already did in great detail. So after doing that, what you have to do, today's task is that you will complete, since we have completed chapter 5. So from now, from workbook exercises, whatever is left, whatever is missed out, any exercise, any question answer, any filling the blanks, any crossword puzzles that is missed out, your task is today to check from page 71 to 86 from your workbook and complete it today. Okay, from 71, and let me check it again from, here I go. Okay, yes, from chapter 5 begins from 71 up till 86. So you have to complete anything that is left from your workbooks and complete it today, and revise and prepare your this whole chapter 5 for assessment. Soon I am going to make a quiz for you, and you memorize all the question answers and filling blanks in this break, in this weekend. Okay, so take good care of yourself. Inshallah, I will join you. I will come again with a new lesson, and take care. Bye bye.